who were genocided, right? They were wiped out. They want to sit there and say that there are no Native Americans. No bullshit. There was no Native Americans after the white people got here, and then they justified it, right? So it's just a bunch of propaganda. It's a bunch of horseshit, just a bunch of bullshit. So first, white people come into Kentucky, genocide the Native Americans. Then you got the historians who genocide the Native Americans out of the history books. So they never existed. They never were there. The historians don't know anything about them, and who gives a shit? Well, that's bullshit, okay? That's according to the Harrison and Clotter New History of Kentucky. He goes ahead and whitewashes Kentucky history. And the Native Americans have been in Kentucky for 10,000, they've been in this continent for 10,000 years. So to assume that Native Americans are all over the place, right? Massachusetts, Florida, out in the West, and Canada, Mexico, you know, they're all over the place, but just not in Kentucky. That's the only exception. That was the only state, that was the only spot where there was absolutely no Native Americans. That's total fucking bullshit. Don't fucking believe it for a second. I want to talk about the first white people in Kentucky, okay? So this is important because this is, it's in the character of white people to be absolute vicious, barbarian psychopaths. This has been part of the Anglo-Saxon blood. This is in their history. This is their culture. This is what they do. So first you have the Native Americans, right? And you can even go all the way up to today. Dante says that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in a period of moral crisis do nothing. So if there's injustice or a moral crisis and you're witnessing it and you're watching it and you do nothing, then you're going to hell and you're going to go to the hottest place in hell. Okay? So, and that also goes to MLK. The only thing that it takes for bad people to win is for good people to do nothing. So, and it's also Julian Assange. When you look at injustice and you don't do anything about it, you train your mind to where you don't actually stand up for it. Well, this is several times in American history, you see all the white people engaging in horrible practices and nobody standing up and saying anything is wrong with it. So go back to the days of lynching. When you saw the whole, the picture of people of lynching, right, you would have a black man who's hanging in a tree, and then you would have all the white people in the community, and they're dressed in their Sunday's best with their top hat and their tie and their dresses, right? Their nice, pretty Southern Belle antebellum dresses, right? You gotta listen to the white woman or you're gonna get lynched. And then they lynched this black man. He's hanging up in a tree, right? And all the white people in the community are smiling and they're happy and they're like, look, and then they put them on postcards and they're sending the postcards everywhere. Look what I was a part of. Look at this. I was part of a murder. I was right there and I watched them all murder and I did nothing about it. And not only did I not do anything about it, not only did I not stand up to it, but I defended it and I'm bragging about it and I'm showing the entire world it. Okay, that's how sick white people is. So when it comes to the slave trade, it isn't all slavery back then. Bullshit. The fucking reverberations of slavery still exist today, and it's both ways. And of course, you know, of course, I believe in equality, so that's that whatever. I'm not even going to address that part. So the okay, you got all white people are corrupt. Not all white people. I'm just saying in the society of back in the days of lynching in antebellum South, right? From the time slavery was over till about the Martin Luther King's time, so for 100 years, right? You had these lynchings that was going on, and you had the entire. So that was one example where you have all the white people engaging in some bad thing, and then nobody standing up, nobody doing anything about it. They're all engaged in the Native American murders. That was part of their character. That's what they would do. They're very racist, right? The red man is destroying us. We need to hurt them. The Native Americans are savages or savage beasts and all this other stuff. So it's very much part of the original American white man, the Anglo-Saxon, the English Protestants, when they came to America to make sure, to make sure that they're not only bigoted, but they would back their bigotedness with violence. And they would murder, they massacre, they genocide an entire nation of people. So there's one example, right? The genocide of the Native Americans is something that all white people were engaged in. You had the lynching parties. That was something you had, not all, but virtually all of them in the community was part of it. And then something recent, and the recent example that happened was John Kerry. So you had John Kerry, not John Kerry, but there's a boy that was asking him, right? The don't tase me, bro guy. So you got John Kerry. He's giving a speech or whatever, asks for questions, and the guy gets up and he had 3 questions. But you're not allowed to ask your fucking questions, right? Everybody gets all fucking scared. You're just supposed to pretend that John Kerry is the fucking man and then go along with the whole charade, right? The whole idea is that John Kerry, I'm the most powerful motherfucker in the world. I get to stand up here with the podium on the stage, and then I get to answer your all's questions, and fuck you, right? Fuck your equality, fuck your question, and you're just a peasant. And the cops, you know, immediately as he started answering his questions, they started taking him away, right? They started shaking him. The security guards sitting there putting their hands on him. How dare you ask a question of your fucking representatives? This ain't a democracy. This isn't America. This is fucking totalitarian fascistville. And so, okay, so that white boy that don't tase me, bro, he's getting beat up, and then all the white people are just sitting in the audience, just staring forward. They're not giving a shit. The man asked the question, and now he's getting beat up. That's justice? That's okay? No, absolutely not. That's an American society that is absolutely corrupt, and it's corrupt because of the American education system. And there was one thing that I had said. Let's see. When you take a person's freedom away from him, when you say, you're going to be my slave, do as the fuck as you say, you take away the very essential quality that it makes them to be human. So you take away their freedom, you're not just taking away, you know, you're taking everything away. I'm a 32-year-old man, and when somebody wants to say, hey, do this, so you're ignoring 32 years of history and experiences. I've been on this planet for a long-ass time. I've been on this planet for a long-ass time. And you're going to sit there and tell me that my experiences and everything that I've gone through, none of that matters. As soon as I walk in your room, I just got to be a bitch-ass nigger slave. Again, it's a rhetoric, but that's the reality of it, okay? Fuck hierarchy. Fuck domination over others. Fuck power. It's bullshit. Black people don't want to be slaves. White people don't want to be slaves. Nobody wants to be a fucking slave. And everybody wants to be, not everybody, some people want to be master or boss and be, you know, do this and do that type of shit. I don't want to be either. I don't want to be master. I don't want to be a fucking slave. I don't want to tell you what to do. You live your life. You live your life. If you do something that has to harm me, okay, then I got to do something. If I'm being threatened by you, then I got to do something. But I don't have to master you. I don't have to dominate over you. I have to tell you what's up and what's going on. I don't have to do that type of shit. So anyways, all white people with the don't tase me, bro, all the white people with the lynching, and then all the white people with the Native Americans wipe out. There's basically a long-ass history of white supremacy, murdering the Mexicans, murdering the Native Americans, lynching people. You see Confederate flags today. No, racism hasn't gone away. It's I don't know. It's a complicated thing. It's complicated, but it hasn't gone away, and it's fucking bullshit. White people started it, and they need to fucking stop. You just want to carry on a fucking legacy of you being an asshole, you being a fucking bigoted, bloody, fucking genocidal fucking maniac who just murders people for... You killed Emmett Till because he whistled at a woman. That's a crime. That's not a crime. Asking a question of your politician, that's not a crime. Living in America, that's not a crime either. The Constitution says if you was born on this land, that makes you an American. That means all the Native Americans in Kentucky, Shawnee. That makes Tecumseh's an American. There's no more American person in American history than Tecumseh or the Shawnee or any of the Native Americans. There's no more American person than those people. They're born on this land. They was born here way before Americans got here. And I think Tecumseh was born in, his father was born in Kentucky. And I think he could have been, it's very possible he was born in Kentucky. Nobody knows where he was born. So, okay. What's the point of all this? The point of all this is I want to talk about the white people in Kentucky, and I think it's important because white people have this bigoted notion that they're surviving and that they're doing better off in the world because they're making the right decisions and that they're, you know, somehow inherently superior. Unfortunately, with imperialism, you got to keep on taking more and more land in order to, you know, be successful and colonizing and dominating new lands in order for that model to be successful. So that's it's not a good model. It's very I believe in integration. I believe we should it's a melting pot. All the white people are immigrants too, so they want to be assholes to those to the Guatemalans or Guatemalans to those kids. But what the fuck? Like seriously, it's very characteristic of white people to be bigoted fucking assholes, to turn into a lynch mob, to fucking hurt people. It's very much their bloody, barbaric character. It's been there for a long-ass time. And so, I'm getting to the first white people of Kentucky. That's the whole point of this video. Is to get to the first white people of Kentucky. So who are the white people in Kentucky? And why does that matter? the white people, they want to sit there and say, well, they were the ones who wrote the words down. So because they wrote the words down and Native Americans had an oral culture, that's why white people were superior. That's what Abraham Lincoln said. Okay, so Abraham Lincoln, he had said that white people wrote the things down on pieces of paper, and then other people could read what those words were, and then therefore that's how ideas, could spread. And that's partially true. When you go to look for, the documentation of the Native Americans, all we have are the white people who wrote stuff down. But that doesn't, like Hernando de Soto. So Hernando de Soto is the first white explorer, first white man to come through Kentucky at 1541. So in the 1541, right, so this is like 50 years after Columbus, you got the Spanish explorer De Soto coming through Kentucky, which was also with Pizarro, and they conquered the Incans and the Mayans and wiped out their entire fucking civilizations, right? You had Cahokia here in Illinois, and he was blazing a path through the southeastern of the United States, so modern-day United States. So that's what Hernando de Soto was doing. He's blazing the path. He's pillaging. He's raping. He's robbing. He's being a total fucking dick, right? Same thing he did in Inca in Peru or Chile or wherever the Incan Empire, the South America. Same thing he did in South America. Same thing he did in Mexico. He fucking wiped out civilizations, okay? He's a fucking Cortez. He's a fucking Columbus. Columbus genocided Taino Indians. Cortez was a genocidal maniac. These were barbaric fucking Spanish conquistadors, right? A conquistador, you just want to come in and then just fucking take over, murder, pillage, do whatever the fuck you want to do, and that's, so it's horrible. When it comes to historian, these are the fucking writings that we have of the Native Americans. They didn't write themselves. They had oral tradition and history. So if you genocide an entire, like the dodo bird, okay? So really, you have a lot of dodo birds in America, but they're people, they're humans, so it's a lot different. But when you look at the dodo bird, what do we know? We don't. Some people even speculate the dodo bird never even existed. So because it was wiped out, because it was made to be extinct, and all we have is just documented evidence of people saying that they had seen it, there are drawings of it, and a few bones and shit. People say, oh, that was bullshit. No such thing as a dodo, right? So, Native Americans, they weren't in Kentucky. That's total bullshit. No, it's not bullshit. All we have is the writings of the explorers, and they're crappy writings, okay? For a longest time, people didn't know that Hernando de Soto come to Kentucky because his path all throughout the United States was very windy and it was crazy. So he comes to Kentucky in 1541, and he massacres and he kills all these people, and it's fucking, it's bullshit. But because white people wrote down the words, that's what makes us better. I don't think so. I think that's that's bullshit. We have the conquistador's words because he was murdering the fucking tribe. So it's like, oh, what tribe used to be there? Oh, it used to be the Shawnee. Oh, okay, what happened to the Shawnee? Oh, he murdered them. Okay, so what the fuck is the point of this conversation? You're an asshole, you're a piece of shit, you probably should be fucking murdered if you're the one genociding people, right? So the dodo bird, right? There used to be a dodo bird and this thing and that thing. Well, why does that matter? Well, they're all dead. It doesn't matter. Okay, so who gives a shit? So, 1310. I don't know if I should talk about the white people since I've wasted all this time. I think I'll go to the next video. But this is the introduction to it, okay? So, the first white people in Kentucky, I'll just give an overview of the people that we're going to be discussing. So, who are the first white people in Kentucky? You also had St. Patrick. So, you had Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln saying that white people were better because they wrote things down. St. Patrick, well, he's the patron saint of Ireland. So, you can't hate St. Patrick because he represents an entire country. But he was a genocidal maniac. He killed a lot of the native Irish people and enforced Christianity on them. But we'll get on past that. St. Patrick was, and that's the thing. Why the fuck did we get past that? Like, he's known for saving Western civilization because he had all the writings of the Dark Ages. The monasteries that wrote all this stuff down. So the Dark Ages, you had all the fucking Greek and Roman, information and math and all the other horse shit wiped out. Nobody had any example. Nobody had any paper about what had happened previously. But because Ireland had actually saved that stuff, then they're saying that St. Patrick was able to pull us, give us a clue of how the Dark Ages and the Roman era and the Greeks had actually lived. So thank God for St. Patrick writing things down. Abraham Lincoln, thank goodness for people writing things down. So the white people of Kentucky, you have Hernando de Soto, you have Thomas Walker, he's an explorer. You had Christopher Gist, he was like George Washington's right-hand man. Hernando de Soto. You had Gabriel Arthur. He's a white man who got kidnapped, and then he went around attacking people. So with the tribe. So he gets to see not only, the inside interior of Kentucky, but he also gets to see, the culture of Native Americans firsthand. So you got Gabriel Arthur, you got Thomas Walker, Christopher Gist, Hernando de Soto, and you also have another man. There's another guy that had like a big ass fucking Joseph Celeron de Blainville, and then you also had LaSalle, who is the explorer that the well